Hello everyone, welcome back to the Ixalan full set review. We are up to the red cards. We're going to get aggressive with Anthony. How are we doing?
Yeah, good. Look at this little guy.
That's a pretty sweet little raptor. And it's not a bad card too, so let's get right into it and see what we got here.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're starting off with a red. This is a 7 mana 4/4 called Angrath's Marauders. So that's a terrible rate, but it's also a Furnace of Wrath. So if a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. So not only is it Furnace of Wrath, it's your Furnace of Wrath.
So it's really an 8/4.
Yeah, it hits as an 8/4.
That's a lot better. I don't know how to feel about this card. It must be good, right?
I don't know, 7 mana is a lot, and we keep coming around to seeing these gigantic spells. Every colour has a number of big spells.
Yeah, but I just imagine having
some
dinosaurs and then like going with this on the top seems pretty nuts.
Yeah, I always like cards whose effects have haste, by which I mean they apply the turn they come down, even if they themselves can't attack.
Yeah.
So this is one of those effects, and I can see this ending a game where your opponent did the math, they worked out what they could attack with, what they needed to keep back, and then out of nowhere, bam, everything hits for double.
Boom. Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, really good card. I think I'm going to pick this up and try and build a deck that uses it.
Yep, this is really cool.
I mean, it doesn't even say red source, it's just any source.
Yep, to permanent or player, yeah. I like
Awesome. It. Cool. Well, let's keep moving. We have... What the heck is that?
I don't know. Bonden Horncrest. 3 and a red for a 5/5 dinosaur, and it can't attack or block alone. I hate that line of text. And I love just messing with people and just looking at the other creatures and just go, I'll play a creature, okay, I killed that one. I'll play another creature, I killed that one.
Yeah.
And just smashing their face in.
I don't know, this is like a blind ogre effect, where it needs a buddy to sort of spot for it. I think this might be good enough. I mean, it's 4 mana 5/5, it's really hard to kill.
I just hate that line of text.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a tricky one.
The thing with the ogres in the past is that they hit hard for a couple of turns, and then I've found anyway, playing with and against them, is that they sort of just drop off.
I think this is the first time we've seen one that's this big, though. Like, usually those huge ones are like 2 mana 3/3s, where they're bigger than they should be on the low end of the curve. This is a bit higher up, so you're much more likely to have creatures around, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm going to lean towards keeping this one, to playing this one, because I think it's going to be better than those ones in the past. But that could be just by my naivety.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm leaning against it because I like messing with people that play these cards.
Fair enough. Next up, Brazen Buccaneers. This is a 4 mana 2/2 with haste and explore. Which, again, if we consider this half the time, this is a grey ogre with haste. 4 mana 3/3 with haste. I don't see like that's good enough to risk getting a 4 mana 2/2 with haste.
Yeah, 4 mana 3/3 with haste is pretty good though.
It is, and we've seen those ones play out quite well in the past. Most recently in Kaladesh, you had the Daring Artist, or whatever it was called.
Yeah. Oh, that wasn't that great from memory.
Yeah, it was fine. And that was probably better because it can give haste to other things sometimes.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that there are better 4-drops. So this is probably down the pecking order.
Yeah, we'll probably play this if you need a 4-drop, but I don't think you're going to need it. Wow. Here's a dinosaur for you.
Yeah, Burning Sun's Avatar. 3 red for a 6/6 dinosaur avatar, and when it enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to target opponent and 3 damage to up to 1 target creature. This card is sweet.
Wow, it's
Inferno Titan.
Pretty much. I mean, it's a full-powered Searing Blaze on top of a 6/6.
This has got to be constructed worthy, right?
I can't imagine why it wouldn't be. It kills things and kills opponents, and it's just massive. You're going to be able to get this down on turn 4, turn 5 with a decent draw. So you got the green mana ramper and the red ramper for dinosaurs. So yeah, if there's a dinosaur deck, this should be in it.
Yeah, and it curves really well after the 5-drop 4/4/3/3. That gives dinos haste. That seems pretty dumb.
Yeah, this is a really sweet one. Limited triple red could be difficult. So this is definitely not something that you just chuck in your 3-color dinosaur deck. I think this has to be your 2-color red-green dinosaur deck to work.
Yeah, it depends how good your fixing is, I guess. Or if red's one of your main colors, or you're definitely not splashing this, like clearly. But this card's a huge bomb.
Yeah, the effect is worth the risk, certainly.
Yeah. Windmill Slam, yeah.
Next up is Captain Lannery Storm. Another awesome lady pirate here. 3 mana for a 2/2 with haste, and whenever it attacks, you make a treasure. So whenever it attacks, you get that treasure, and you can sacrifice a treasure to give it +1/+0 until end of turn. I kind of like this card. I think you're going to be able to sneak it in more often than not. Haste really helps out with that, because your opponent probably didn't have a good blocker ready.
Yeah, so when it attacks, it gets it. So you'll get the boost straight away. So it attacks effectively as a 3/2.
If you want it to, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the threat, so... Yeah, this seems pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this card. I don't think it's a windmill slam or anything. It's just a fine creature.
Yeah, just a fine creature. And I've seen that seems to be a lot of the rares are a bit like that. It's not too heavy on the bombs so far.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not too much of a bomb-heavy format, because as cool as Glorybringer is, it's kind of annoying on the format.
Yeah.
To the extent where I believe some notable Magic pros, possibly slightly joking, advocated for banning Glorybringers.
From draft.
From draft and limited.
That's funny.
I think it was for Magic Online to edit them out, basically.
Yeah.
Alright, so Captivating Crew. This is a rare bomb, though. This is a 4 mana 4/3 with an ability. It says 3 in a red, so 4 mana. Gain control of target creature and opponent controls until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. So this is Threaten on legs.
This card is ridiculous.
It's so dumb.
This is going to end game so quick. You splash this almost.
Oh, definitely.
In just about every deck, I think. This card is unreal.
Yeah, I think this is absolute snap first pick. I mean, there's also some sacrifice synergies across black and also a little bit in red.
Yep.
This is such a cool card because you can steal your opponent's card and throw it at them with engineered explosives. It's not exactly what it's called, but it's something like that. Makeshift explosives.
Yep.
Yeah, really sweet one. Very happy to have a Captivating Crew all of the time.
Yeah, I can't undersell how good this card is. Might be one of the best rares in the set.
Yeah,
maybe.
For limited, I will say.
For limited, yeah. For limited.
For constructed formats, this is like, whatever. Don't really care.
Yeah.
But yeah, limited bomb, so play it all of the time. Also a limited bomb. Why is this an uncommon? This is a 5 mana, 5/5 trample haste. Charging Monstrosaur is absolutely monstrous. Like, this is a windmill first pick.
Yeah, this is going to end so many games that you didn't think were over, but it was over.
Yeah,
because they had 2 of these in their hand. Well, 2 is going to be a stretch, but this
one is good enough.
Yeah, this card's ridiculous. Haste, 5/5 haste with trample. Like, when you're thinking about, what could they have? Like, people keeping their cards back. It's because of crap like this.
Yeah.
And it's so big, it's not even worth it. Just attack anyway, because if they got it, you're dead.
Yeah. You really can't play around this thing. I mean, if you've seen it, you can play around it, but it's not easy. And this could come down so early because there's 3 different ways to ramp dinosaurs.
Yep.
Like 3 dinosaur-specific ways. There's even more than that in just green as arbitrary ramp. plus treasures, plus all. This is not going to cost 5. This is not coming down on turn 5. This is turn 4 at the latest most of the time.
Yep. Yeah, this card's very good. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing card. Definitely want to play that. And this is a standard worthy dinosaur. This is this is in the dinosaur deck in standard for sure.
The only thing keeping it out that might be keeping it out is just the fact that there's like other bombs at 5. Like there might be a bit of a glut. You're not playing 4 of these.
Possibly. I mean, the only other one that I think I would want to play over it is the Regisaur Alpha, and even then, this is 5 trample haste. Like it hits now with all 5 power instead of just 3.
Yeah.
That's
Man,
it. It's
card.
close.
Yeah,
and
I
the
know
fact
what you
that it's
mean.
close to a multicolored rare is kind of crazy.
Yeah. This card. This card. I can't. Yeah. Next card. Come on.
Demolish. Terrible. Don't play it.
Next card. Dinosaur Stampede. 2 and a red for an instant. Attacking creatures get +2/+0 until end of turn, and dinosaurs you control gain trample until end of turn.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. And there's kind of a red-white deck here a little bit. Like, there's some dinos and some going wide with vampires. So if you can mesh them together a little bit, you might be able to get something there.
Yeah, and if I think back to white, there was quite a number of non-dinosaur creatures, but that got buffs from dinosaurs, the Pterodon Knight, and a couple of other little bits and pieces like that. So
Yeah.
I think this is going to be quite good in that red-white dinosaur deck, and could be quite good in the red-green dinosaur deck because of giving all those giant monsters trample. So
Yeah.
I mean, Trumpet Blast is not an effect you need lots of, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a nice one-off.
Also, just don't try to cast this on your opponent's turn.
Ooh,
I've seen that happen where someone's gone, oh, it pumps my creatures. It doesn't. It's attacking creatures only.
Yeah, this is one way only.
Dual Shot. So, red instant, deal 1 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures. So, ping off some X1s, trigger Enrage.
Yeah, I guess Enrage is a thing. I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to leave this in the board for now, but it could very well be worth main decking if you Enrage is a thing and if there's a bunch of X1s.
Yeah, I think even if it's just for your Enrage, I think it's going to be good enough for triggering your Enrage. Because you're going to have opportunities where you can trigger Enrage on your guy after combat and
Finish off
a creature.
Yeah.
Finish off a wall. There's like 4/5s, so some people might block your whatever on their 4/5 or something like that. So
Yep.
yeah, good. I think
that.
this is a good card. So keep an eye out on this one. I think this has some really good situational uses, and in some decks, this is going to be a really cool, useful card.
Yeah, and sometimes when this is good, this is like really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, some of these Enrage triggers are like make a 3/3 or draw a card, and that's worthwhile.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, how about this one?
Fathom Fleet Firebrand. 1 and a red for a 2/2 human pirate, and it has an ability. 1 and a red, it gets fire breathing, so +1/+0 till end of turn.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean,
It's fine.
it's a
Pirate
bear.
with upside, yeah.
We got. She has arcane tattoos, so she's a little bit like Liliana with her weird glowy tattoos in red.
Oh yeah,
So I don't know
Jason's
what's
got a
going
few
on
of
there.
them too.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. This one, she might be a future planeswalker. Seems
Sure,
unlikely.
doesn't have a name, but yeah.
The nameless planeswalker. That's fine.
Yeah.
Fiery Cannonade is a really weird card. The fact that it's in this set, because it's 3 mana, 2 and a red for an instant, and it deals 2 damage to each non-pirate creature. So this is a Pyroclasm. It's instant speed,
Instant, yeah.
and I think this is a really good card. I've heard some pretty negative reviews on a couple of internet podcasts, but I just think 2 damage to everything at instant is really quite a big deal.
For limited, right?
Yes, for limited, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is great for limited.
And it's going to kill a lot of the merfolk, it's going to kill a lot of the vampires, it's going to kill a lot of pirates. No, it's not going to kill any pirates if you're in the pirate deck.
Yeah. It triggers your Enrage because most of your dinosaurs are bigger than 2 toughness.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's definitely going to be main board, but it's going to be a really interesting card to bring in at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crap because probably the best low creatures are pirates. So that's kind of weird, but still, this is good.
Yeah, I think this is worthy of an early pick, and you want to be aware of this card in the format.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you discount these kind of cards at your own peril. They always work out better than you expect.
Yeah. All right, let's keep rolling with Fire Shrine Keeper. So
Okay.
rounds out our cycle. We've got one more to go, but this is the red one of the cycle. 1 mana, 1/1 with Menace, and it has an 8 mana. Tap and sacrifice it to double bolt.
That's
On
sick.
creatures,
Double
sorry, not players. Creatures only.
bolt. That's still pretty sick. But it costs 8 mana. We must be able to get to 8 mana, right? They did a whole cycle.
Yeah, I think this is probably up there. It's below the Trilobite, but I think it's second on the list of this cycle.
I agree.
But even then, it's probably just playable. I don't think it's really good.
I don't think it's really good either. But it's kind of funny, like, you can just see your lands ticking up over time, and it's sort of like a board stall, and you're just waiting to get the lands, both players, and your opponent's sweating it. I can see that happening. That's kind of cool. But
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's a good one. It's not a sorcery speed activation, so if you wanted to keep it up for your end step, to either trigger your own enrage, to kill things at end step, all that sort of thing, you've got some options there. So it's certainly worth the consideration. And it has Menace early on, so triggering raid, certainly an option. The Fire Cannon Blast.
yeah, Fire Cannon Blast. 1 red, deals 3 damage to target creature, and raid, it deals 6 damage to that creature instead if you attacked with a creature this turn. Card's good.
Yeah, this seems like premium removal. It's double red again, so we can't be splashing on this one, but it's not hard to get raid, and dealing 6 damage is going to kill pretty much everything you want to kill.
Yeah, tactically not an instant, because that would be silly.
Well, just having, if it was an instant, just dealing 3 is fine. Like, you don't have to get the raid out of this.
But you always just attack, and then after declaring attacks, you use it.
Right, yes, that's an important point.
Yeah, so sorcery kind of sucks, but yeah, you'll play it. It's going to be good. 3 damage for 3 mana is good rate nowadays.
Yeah, and up to 6 damage, so it kills things. That's the important part.
And yeah, obviously it goes up, yeah.
Alright, we have a Headstrong Brute. This is a 3 mana 3/3. It can't block, and it can also have Menace as long as you control another pirate.
I like this. Not blocking sucks.
Yeah, not blocking is annoying because it doesn't do anything the turn it comes down. Harrier Naga is quite good because it's a 3/3 blocker when you play it, and then you can start swinging in.
I don't like this card.
Okay. Even if you assume the second part as given, so you definitely have a pirate, and it's a 3/3 can't block with Menace. Still not that good.
It's not the kind of card I like to play because I just find it can be real swingy with this kind of stuff. But it's not a bad rate. It's aggressive in red. That's good. But yeah.
Well, I will say that at least it gives you good advice, this card, which is watch your backs, keep your blades at your hand, and let the orc go first.
Pretty much. You just, obviously with this card, you just let him go.
Yeah, after you.
Let him go.
Alright, next up is Hijack is back.
Yes. So this is the one we want our... Anyway, gain control of target artifact or creature until end of turn, untap it, gains haste. So you take the guy, you swing at them with it, and then you sack it off to one of your sack outlets.
Yeah, if you have sack synergies, this is kind of cool. Even without it, Threaten is a fine effect, it's that common for a good reason. You don't need to be worried about it a lot, but it's cool. It's a good little move.
Yeah, it ends games when you get Yeah. So I've over the last couple of years, I've really grown to like these cards since I've been playing more aggressive decks. So yeah, I've got a fondness for them now.
Yeah, I traditionally include a threaten in my deck when I'm playing red, so pretty happy with that. It's also got some interesting flavor text because it mentions the Planeswalker Angrath, which is a Minotaur captain trapped on Ixalan. So it could be a bit of foreshadowing. Keep an eye out on our next set, whatever it is after Ixalan.
Yeah, new Planeswalker.
Because that could be the Planeswalker. He can't break free, he's stuck here as well, so maybe Vraska, Jace, and Angrath work out a way how to get off Ixalan.
Yeah.
Next, we have another reprint, Lightning Strike. 2 mana, deal 3 to a creature or player. So it's a 2 mana Lightning Bolt, which is really good for a Lightning Bolt nowadays.
It's such a simple card, but it's something that we need.
Yeah, I mean, we have been trying to find this card for a long time. We've had this at sorcery speed. We've had this that can only go to the face, and this can only go to creatures. We haven't really had this kind of an effect since, like, Innistrad, original Innistrad, in stuff like Searing Spear.
Yeah, Searing Spear was in a couple of core sets, and it was a common, bloody uncommon for this now.
Yeah, but we're happy to see this back. The reason this is awesome for anyone who hasn't played with this kind of an effect before is because you can kill creatures, which is great. We want to kill creatures as much as we can, but it also kills players sometimes. If you don't have anything to kill later in the game, you just get them to 3 and then shoot them in the face. So,
yeah, the versatility on this card's great.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably first pickable. A lot of the time, if your other cards aren't amazing, this is a very solid card.
Yep, great card. Right. Lightning Rig Crew, 2 and a red for a 0/5 Goblin Pirate. That's weird stats for a Goblin Pirate. But it has tap, and it deals 1 damage to each opponent, and whenever you cast a pirate spell, untap it. So this is kind of Lobber Crew that untaps when you play pirates.
Yeah, this is not bad. I mean, this kind of effect is usually okay. It's a big wall, it pings in.
Cool thing about this is it's not a defender, so it can actually attack as a 0/5, probably survive, and trigger your raids.
Yes, really good point there. Triggering raid with this is going to be really cool. And your opponent is going to give you a really quizzical look when you swing this. Like, it's going to be, I'm going to attack with this, and they're like, take it, I guess?
Yeah, they'll figure it out, though.
yeah, then you play the raid creature and like, right.
And it untaps it. So
and it untaps if it's a pirate, so... Yeah, this is really good, really cool card. I'm definitely looking forward to playing this kind of a deck, and it's each opponent again. So in Two-Headed Giant, just jam all of them in the red deck. You want this regardless of how many pirates you have.
Yes, this card is going to be great into Red Shield.
Next is the Makeshift Munitions. This is the one I was trying to talk about earlier. 2 mana for an enchantment, and it's a Goblin Bombardment, which is sacrifice an artifact or creature, deals 1 damage to target creature or player. So a little bit better than Goblin Bombardment, because you can sacrifice artifacts, like treasure, and deal 1.
Yeah, I mean, usually I steer clear of these kind of cards, but there might be enough here to make me want to do it. If there's enough treasures in your deck, then this is definitely worth looking at.
Definitely. I think if you combine this with ways to make treasure, so you're in the blue-red, I think is the way you make treasures most.
Yep.
And you combine this with things like Hijack, or if you have the call it Captivating Crew.
This is the second best card in your deck.
Goes straight in your deck, because you just steal their guy, hit them with it, and then sacrifice it to deal 1 more. Just insult to injury, but...
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, so that's what you have. Otherwise, you don't really play it most of the time.
Yeah.
Alright.
Nest Robber. 1 and a red for a 2/1 dinosaur with haste. And this is going to be... You're going to see this on turn 2 a lot.
Yeah, Hasty Pike is pretty good. Again, this is going to be helping you trigger your raid and doing all of those things. So I think it's just good, solid 2-drops that you should be playing 2-drops. So
yeah, this is going to get the beatdowns real quick. So this is a scary card, actually.
Alright, next we have Otepic Huntmaster. This is a 2 mana 1/2. Dinosaurs you cast cost 1 less. Awesome. And Dinosaur can get haste by tap. So you tap this, give target dinosaur haste until end of turn. This is a foreshadowing. You see this card and you should be worried.
Yeah. So What 4-mana dinosaurs are there to follow this up? There's the 4/5, right?
There's the 4/5. Yes,
trigger.
that's the rare one. Yep. So in standard, that's probably the next thing that comes down.
Yeah.
Even if you just get a couple of 2-mana dinosaurs, so on turn 3, if you get some low, like 3-mana dinosaurs and stuff like that, it gets cheaper. So.
Yep. And you can give them haste.
Haste, yeah. So I don't know that there are enough 4-mana dinosaurs to make this amazing, but this still gets in the deck anyway because it gets your 5s and 6s down.
Yeah, and the 5s and 6s are insane, especially when you give them haste.
Yeah.
Well, some of them have haste anyway.
Yeah. The charging monster straw already has haste, so who cares? But yeah, this is be cool with the Regisaur Alpha because you get this that the Regisaur comes down on 4 and then all 7 power has haste, so
yeah, nice. Yes, that's a good point, yeah.
Alright, so really cool card. In Limited, I mean, it goes in the dinosaur deck only. If you have a lot of dinosaurs, great, play this. And if your opponent plays this, they're either kind of silly or they are going to smash you in the face with a dinosaur real soon, so get prepared.
Yeah, this is a really, really narrow thing, and it probably won't come up, but in 2HG you can give your partner's dinosaurs haste.
Yeah, that could be could come up. So
I can't imagine why you wouldn't have the dinosaurs in this deck, but, you know, it might happen.
Sure. There might be some white dinosaurs if you're just playing red-green over in your buddy's deck, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Alright.
Rampaging Ferocidon. 2 and a red for a 3/3 dinosaur with menace. Players can't gain life, and when another creature enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to that creature's controller. Oh, this one is scary. 3 mana for a 3/3 with menace. That's a good rate.
That's a really powerful card. And that downside, it's going to hit you. It hits everyone. But this is kind of like Eidolon of the Great Rebel in more constructed decks, where the downside is worse for your opponent because you're the one with a 3/3 menace, and you're going to be ripping their life total down.
Yep, exactly right. And the dinosaurs are just huge beaters, so you're going to get them.
Yeah, and I think the Ferocidon, much like anyone who's playing this, is on there in the bottom in the flavor text. They seem to enjoy their prey's pain. So just sit there and watch your opponent kill themselves with creatures.
Yep.
Yeah, really sweet card. I mean, pick this up in Limited because it's going to do some really good damage, and if there's an aggressive red deck in the format, this is going to be headlining it.
Yep.
As far as standard.
For sure.
Next is our Raptor Hatchling. This is our awesome art little dude. He is a Brindleshote, going way back to one of the older core sets. Brindleshote and Raptor Hatchling is a 2-mana 1/1, and when it is dealt damage, it creates a 3/3 green dinosaur creature with trample. Granted, I mean, it's a 1/1, so it's probably going to die at that point, which means when it fights, it turns into a 3/3. Which I think is pretty good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Good with your makeshift munitions and your other sack outlets, because you just throw it at someone.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually. I like that. Is it uncommon, though?
It is an uncommon, yes.
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing you want to have, that you just chump block off something, maybe trade with an X1 vampire token or something, and then you get a 3/3 to replace it. So.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of card can just stop your opponent from attacking in some circumstances.
Yeah. It's also, I really like playing this with cards like Dual Shot or Ryle, because your opponent swings into it expecting, oh well, I'll just get the 3/3 and play whatever. And you just poke your own guy and turn it into a 3/3 and eat their 2/2.
That's a good point, actually, yeah.
So that's a neat one. I mean, you can even go up to killing a 4/4 with that trick, because you deal 1 to the 4/4, 1 to this guy, and you block with a 3/3. So.
Yeah.
It's 2 for 1, but you do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you do what you gotta do.
Alright, next up is a Repeating Barrage. This is 3 mana for another Lightning Bolt. This is a rare bolt. 3 mana, deal 3 damage to creature or player. But it also has a raid trigger, which is 5 mana. Return it from your graveyard to your hand if you attacked with a creature this turn.
It's expensive.
It is expensive, but it is expensive for a good reason.
Yes, no, definitely. Like, this is great in Limited, but I don't think it'll get there in Constructed.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree. I mean, I might see one or two of these again if that mono red deck that we saw won the Pro Tour recently. If that's still around, if enough of it hasn't rotated, this could be in there as a 1 or 2 of, because it just helps finish the game. It's kind of like another Ramanap Ruins effect, where you don't need your mana anymore. You've got 5 mana, you don't need it. You just want to pick up a lightning bolt and throw it at them. So
You do have to attack though.
true, and overall that's 8 mana to do it each turn. So
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah, it's
possibility,
expensive.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Limited, it gives you inevitability, which is really cool. So you're probably going to keep this in limited.
Yep.
What do I got next?
Rigging Runner. 1 red mana for a 1/1 Goblin Pirate First Strike. It has raid. When it enters the battlefield with a 1/+1/+1 counter if you attack with a creature this turn. So this is a little scary. This might get into this aggressive red deck that you're talking about.
Possibly. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
2/2 First Strike, even if it's on turn 2 or 3, seems pretty good.
Yeah, that seems quite good. And I mean, they're going to be missing that the vampire, the 2/1 vampire. So another 1-drop to add into that deck is going to be quite good. And they've got plenty of ways to attack on turn 1 with the hasty guy, the hasty artifact, Bomat Courier, and things like that. So
Yeah.
I can definitely see if that red deck is around, these are the kinds of cards that they're going to need to pick up the slack for what's missing.
Yep.
In limited, do you want this guy?
Not really.
No, not even if he looks fancy in his hat.
Yeah, no.
No?
The raid. Yeah, no.
No, I think I tend to agree. If pirates are really important to you, and I haven't seen enough reason to want pirates just in the deck. Like, there are cards that really want vampires in the deck, and there are cards that really want dinosaurs. I haven't seen a lot of cards that just need to have pirates around. So I
Yeah. I mean, it's just that it's a 1-drop though. Like, there are so many 1-drops in this set that maybe you just need enough to get your other raid triggers going. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this
Might be a necessary evil.
I don't know, it's hard to evaluate. I'm going to lean on not wanting this card still, but keep an eye out on X1s. If your opponent's playing a bunch of vampire tokens, this just picks them all off really easily.
Yeah.
And yeah, keep an eye out on if you really want to have raid happening, because if you are getting raid anyway, it's not too difficult to slot this in next to another creature. Sometimes you'll have an extra mana lying around, and then just chucking in a 2/2 First Strike isn't too bad.
Yeah.
Ryle. So here's a card that I have talked about a few times. This is a sorcery for 1 mana. It deals 1 damage to a creature you control. That creature gains trample, and you draw a card. So you basically just enrage one of your creatures, you piss them off, and draw a card, get whatever enrage ability they have, and swing in with trample.
Yeah. It kind of just reduces your toughness as well, though, for combat. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I mean, this is a enrage enabler, I think exclusively an enrage enabler. So if you don't have a bunch of creatures with sweet enrage abilities, then this is no good.
Yeah.
Because it is only creatures you control, you can't even ping off an X1 with it. So.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that great to me, but yeah. And you have to have a creature to do it, right?
Yes.
It's not up to 1. You have to have a creature, so you can't just cycle it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the dual pinging card is probably better than this most of the time.
Yeah,
you
probably.
Can just shoot your opponent's creatures in combat to help you out and stuff like that, if you don't have your own enrages. Alright. Rowdy Crew.
2 red for a 3/3 human pirate mythic. Trample. And when it enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards at random. If two cards that share a card type are discarded this way, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Rowdy Crew. That read weird, but anyway. Yeah. This is
because it
fine.
is weird.
This is fine.
I mean,
Nothing
for
special.
limited, yeah, it's okay. But when I open this as my mythic, I'm real annoyed.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is only mythic because it's confusing. It's like the complexity thing.
And the randomness.
Hmm.
Yeah.
If this was judge based on power level only, you could almost get this down to uncommon. It's a hill giant with upside, and we've seen better hill giants with upside in this set.
Yeah, you're probably right. You can't even control what you discard, so you can't make sure that you get. You do get a card. You net a card out of it, right?
Yeah.
So that's something.
Assuming the creature that you have is worthwhile. So 4 mana 3/3 trample is worth a card. It's probably adequate as a creature.
Yeah.
And it's unlikely that you're going to get those 2 counters.
Yep, it's unlikely. Yep.
So I think you have to evaluate this as just that hill giant with trample that
Replaces itself.
replaces a card, probably.
That's
Hopefully
okay.
your hand. Hopefully you don't lose your best cards in hand.
Yeah. I mean, that's still a good card.
Yeah, it's a fine card. I just think it's really awkward, and I don't want to pick this early. I think I'm going to be looking through the rest of the pack for better removal and that sort of stuff before I take Rowdy Crew.
Yeah. It isn't a great rare, but I don't want people to just ignore it because it's still a decent card.
For sure, and I think if I have this card in my pool, I will put it in my red decks.
Yeah, I think you should.
But it doesn't make me want to play red.
Agreed. Yep.
That's right.
I'm with you there.
Alright, bit of reprint here with Rummaging Goblin. So this is 3 mana for a 1/1, and it has what we now call Rummage, which is kind of reverse looting. You discard a card first, then you draw a card.
Still good.
Still fairly good. This is kind of an interesting idea because looting, always loot. Right? If you have a card in hand, unless you literally have the best card in your deck, in your hand already, always loot. And even then, you probably always loot anyway.
Yep.
Rummaging, maybe not, because you have to look at what am I discarding and is that below average compared to my deck.
Yep.
So it's a little bit more thoughtful than looting, but yeah, this is a good card overall.
It's still good because looting is really, really good, and this is only like good.
Yeah.
So
you are paying 3 mana for a 1/1 though, so bear in mind this. You're not playing this because it's a creature. You're playing this because you have that ability.
yeah. And I don't like how they make them look like monkeys. But anyway.
Yeah, the goblins look weird in this set.
Yeah.
All right.
This is a cool mythic. I don't know how great it is, but it's cool. Star of Extinction. 5 red for a sorcery. Destroy target land. Star of Extinction deals 20 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. That's cool.
Yeah, there's lots of flavor here. It's just giant meteor landing, destroying the land, and killing all the dinosaurs.
Oh, the poor little dinos. You'll probably play this, right?
7 mana Wrath. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I would. It will kill everything.
Your opponent is almost certainly going to be the first one to get a rebuild on this, though.
For sure. But you get their land.
Yeah, I don't care about
Yeah, I don't
destroying
know.
land. By the time it's 7 mana, like if they don't have enough land to cast their stuff, then you're probably winning, and you don't want a Wrath.
It's interesting being red too, because the only deck that probably wants this is the green-red big deck. Big mana deck. You're not putting this in any other color combination.
No, I think this is just supposed to be a cool card. This is a designer just went, I want this awesome dinosaur extinction card. We've got dinosaurs, we have to show their extinction, so this is the card.
That's a bit sad, but
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be cool in EDH, it's going to be cool in more casual formats because it kills planeswalkers as well, which is really awesome. So it's a wrath for creatures and planeswalkers. Yeah, I like it as a card. I don't think I want to play it in limited or constructed formats.
yeah, fair enough.
Next we have is a Stormfleet Arsonist. This is a 5 mana 4/4 Orc Pirate, and it has Raid. If you attacked, then target opponent sacrifices a permanent when it comes into play.
Meh.
5 mana 4/4, probably getting a land or a random not important token.
Can be annoying, definitely.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm not huge on it.
No, I don't mind this as topping out of aggressive red deck. I mean, as a 5-drop 4/4, it's okay.
Yep.
Yeah, decent card.
It's solid, yeah.
Right. Stormfleet Pyromancer. What is this doing?
5 mana, 3/2, so stats aren't as good as the other one. But this is a common, and it's a human pirate wizard, and has a raid trigger as well. When it enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, it deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Well, I like that better.
Yeah, I think this one's pretty comparable to the uncommon we just saw.
Yeah.
Because of the smaller body, but slightly better effect, compared to 4/4 for 5, but a weaker effect.
Yep. I think this is pretty good, actually.
I feel like oftentimes this is going to do the same thing that the other guy does, because it's just going to kill the smallest creature in play.
Yeah, probably.
But you're left with a smaller body on this one.
But this feels more like a 2-for-1 than the other one. I feel like you'll be able to trade this with something once afterwards as well.
But not the 4/4?
Yeah, but the 4/4. Yeah, okay, but you're getting a land off the 4/4. You're not getting a.
You might get a land. Yeah, I guess it depends on what your opponent wants to do.
Well, if you're not getting a land, you're pretty happy, aren't you?
Or you're probably getting a token or something.
Yeah, you're getting yeah. I'd be scared if I'm not getting a land because then they're gearing up for something. Yeah.
Both of them are adequate 5/5s, I guess, and you don't really want to play either of them, but you will.
And this also has an interesting play where you can attack with one of your guys, and then they block it, eating it, and you can finish off something bigger.
Yeah, you can trade off your small guy for their big guy that way.
Yep.
That's pretty good. Not bad. Alright, next is the Sun-Crowned Hunters. This is a 6 mana 5/4, and whenever it is dealt damage, it bolts your opponent.
This is fine. Right.
That's an adequate dinosaur if you need something at the top end, which, if you're playing dinosaurs, I don't think you should need anything big. But
yeah,
if you happen to be missing something up there, this is a card.
Yeah, this is your 6 mana sort of filler card, I think, which will do the job.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And this hopefully comes down a little bit earlier with some of your Dragon Synergy ramp cards.
Yep.
Alright, what's going on here?
This card is so cool. Sunbird's Invocation. 5 and a red for an enchantment. Whenever you cast a spell from your hand, reveal the top X cards from your library, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. You may cast a card revealed this way with converted mana cost X or less without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This card is so good.
So, the wording reminds me very heavily of Cascade. So this kind of gives all of your spells Cascade.
Yeah.
But limited Cascade, because it only goes as deep as the size of the spell.
Yes. And when I'm thinking about it, I'm not thinking about it so much in limited. I'm thinking about it in, like, Commander, where I'm just loving this card.
Sure, yeah, I can see that in some of the Commander decks. Mizzix, again, loves this sort of an effect, because he has giant spells from his experience counters. Animar could possibly be playing this because, again, he's making big spells cheaper, so he's going to have a more opportunity to find something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of like the Sunbird's Invocation in that area. I don't think it goes anywhere else, though. Like, limited, just don't even look at this. You'll wheel it. If you want it for a Commander deck.
Yeah, I don't think... Yeah, because... You just don't have that many big drops, so looking that far, you're just not that likely to hit. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, six mana to do nothing on your turn.
Yeah, it's not really what you want, is it?
Yeah. Alright. Let's keep rolling with Sure Strike. I believe this is a reprint. We've had this...
yeah, for sure.
This is 2 mana, target creature gets +3/+0 and first strike until end of turn. And that's a really good combat trick.
Yep.
So, yeah, be afraid of this. I do want to play this in my red decks, 1 or 2 of, because it just wins combat.
Yep, and it also, you can sort of disguise it a little bit as well because of raid. They might think you're just trying to get in to get a raid trigger, but if you've got this, they can really just blow out your opponent. Not thinking about it.
Good little card. What have we got next?
Swashbuckling. 1 and a red for an enchantment aura, and You enchant a creature, and it gets +2/+2 and has haste. Don't like this card.
No, I'm not a fan. Last seen in a Masters set, I want to say like Vintage Masters, is a functional reprint of like Goblin Mark, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
There was a Goblin spell that did exactly this, but it wasn't piratey themed, it was Goblin themed, and it wasn't very good there either, so yeah, not interested.
Nope.
We have a Thrash of Raptors, so we get a little Raptor squad here. 4 mana for a 3/3. But if you control another dinosaur, which is pretty likely here, they get +2/+0 and trample. So 4 mana, 5/3 trample.
That's pretty big game.
Yeah, I like this as a common. I like this as a 4-drop. This might be a good 4-drop in the decks, the dinosaur decks. Potentially as far as standard, because it's not too difficult to imagine playing another dinosaur as a follow-up to this, and it swings in as a 5/3. So that's a turn 3, 3/3, turn 4, swing with a 5/3.
Yeah, it seems too vanilla for that.
Yeah,
but maybe.
Alright. What do we got next?
I don't know how to say that. Tilanali's Knight. 1 and a red for a 2/2 human knight, and when it attacks, if you control a dinosaur, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn. So this can be a good little beater in a red-white, or yeah, probably red-white or red-green aggro deck.
Yeah, seems nice. You're certainly going to see enough dinosaurs to turn this into a 3/3 a lot of the time, so...
Yep, be happy with this, pick it early.
But Tilanali's Knight is not going to go astray.
Yeah.
Damn it, I nearly got there.
You're doing good.
Tilanali's Skin Shifter is the best creature in play, basically.
When it attacks.
Best attacking creature. So it's a 3 mana 0/1 with haste, and when it attacks, it becomes a copy of another target non-legendary attacking creature until end of turn. So it's a little bit awkward because it's another attacking creature. So you have to copy a non-legendary attacking creature.
Yeah.
I don't think I like this in Limited.
I don't either. I don't think this is good at all.
Except for Two-Headed Giant.
Yeah.
Because you get to attack as your friend's best creature, or your best creature.
So whenever it attacks, so it triggers on attack, so you couldn't do it with the blue fish that mills, right? That wouldn't work. You'd miss the trigger.
I believe so. I can't remember if the fish is on hit or on attack.
No, it's on attack. You
Definitely
don't have
on attack?
Yeah.
Right, then yes, no, it won't work.
Ah, damn it. Oh well.
Yeah, so you don't get attacks triggers, which is kind of annoying on this. You also don't get attacks restrictions. So if it happens to be a good creature in play, like the dinosaur, the 4/4 that can't attack or block alone, the 5/5, sorry. Yeah. This can attack as a 5/5 with that in play. If it's no, it couldn't, because it couldn't be attacking.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But you get the idea. Like downsides.
It gets around some of the downsides. Yeah. So. Anyway, an adequate creature, I guess. Not really interested in Limited unless it's in 2HG. Alright, you feeling tempted?
I don't know. Let's read it. Trail of Temptation, 3 and a red for an enchantment. Each opponent must attack you or a planeswalker you control with at least one creature each combat enable. Okay, so far not impressed. Then at the beginning of your end step, create a treasure. Yeah, I don't think I like this.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're going down that line.
Yeah.
I've heard some really positive talk about this, and I'm not entirely sure why. I think people look at that first part and think, that's not really much of a downside, because if my opponent was going to attack anyway, now they have to, nothing changed, so that's not a downside. And if they weren't going to attack, it's probably because I have good blocks, so now that's upside to me. But the reason it's not much of a downside is because it's also not much of an upside. Like getting a treasure each turn, 4 mana artifact, a 4 mana enchantment that says you get a lotus petal each turn.
It's not exciting.
Not that good.
I'm trying to think of the way when this could be good, and it's too situational. Yeah.
I think if you have a lot of treasure synergies, so makeshift munitions, you maybe want this to help that out.
But you can't be playing it just for that.
No, but you've also got that black card, the Daring Knave, or the Brutal Knave, or whoever it is, that sacrifices treasures to draw cards. I think there are places where you may try to build a treasure synergy thing happening. I don't think it's particularly good, but I think that's a place where it might fit in.
Sure.
Overall, I don't want to play this card almost at all.
No.
Unfriendly Fire.
4 and a red for an instant at common. Deals 4 damage to target creature or player. This is what we get nowadays.
Yep, this is your 5 mana removal spell in red. It's pretty poor because it's 4 damage, and we've seen a bunch of 3 mana spells that deal 3 damage, so I don't think you want this most of the time.
Yeah, you'll play it because you have to, but...
Yeah, if you don't have removal.
Yeah, yeah.
Look for removal in other colours. Red has been kind of skimped on, other than Lightning Strike.
Yeah, this does hit players, though, so that is something.
Yeah, that's a pretty important one. 4 damage to a player can do some... end some games, certainly.
Just a little bit more versatile, but yeah.
Alright, and we last have a Wily Goblin. This is a red for a 1/1 that comes with a treasure token. And it's bad.
I don't get it. Why does it cost red? Why can't it be red and a 1?
Why can't it be just red? Like,
well, yeah. I don't get it. Yeah. Is it because it replaces the mana because you can just play a 1-drop after it or something? Like, you probably wouldn't want it to cost 1 red, right?
Yeah, I guess you could chain them then. That would be kind of hilarious in Standard, just opening on the 4 Wily Goblin hand.
That would happen if you could do it.
And just go like Mountain, Goblin, 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 go.
Yeah. Into Goblin Guide in Modern?
Yeah. Just why not? But yeah, so I think it's probably red for a good reason in that regard, but I don't like this card at red, so...
No.
Yeah. See you later, Mr. Goblin.
Get out of here.
That is the end of our set of cards. So yeah, thanks for joining me for some red cards. What do you think? How are you feeling about red?
I like it. There's a few rares that I'm not impressed with, but I like the commons and uncommons.
Yeah, I can definitely see some aggressive decks forming and some pretty scary dinosaurs in there somewhere. So
yeah,
that's it. We have 1 to go, and that's going to wrap us up. So join us next for the green cards. We will see you soon.
Yeah, see ya.
Take care.